Hey everyone, it's Rick. Today I'm going to do a level 1 landscape for a beginner, but I'm also going to have you mix your paint. So, red, yellow, and blue, these are the colors you can make any color out of those three, right? And also got white and black down here. So, this is an easy type of palette. You can just rip it off when you're done, and then you got a new one underneath. But it's easy to hold in your hand, which is what I'm going to do and mix as I go so you can see how I do it. I'm just going to do like a scene here in Seattle with the Puget Sound, the mountains back there with some trees across the front with some water and a foreground down here and a nice blue sky with some clouds. Nothing too hard, but I'm not going to use an undertone because I'll put a gray sky up there. So let's start. Let's start with a gray sky real quick. What I'll do is let's put some mountains in there real quick with a charcoal pencil or a lead pencil. But let's put our horizon almost halfway, a little lower than halfway down, about right in here. This is a 16 by 20, by the way. This acrylic paint, I'm only going to use a few brushes. A fan brush, a number 2. That's an oil fan brush, by the way, because it keeps its shape. And this is a filbert brush, a number 12. And so there's the horizon. So what I'm thinking about, let's just put a nice, right in the middle, we'll put a nice big peak up here. Right in the middle, okay? Now let's add some more peaks to the side of it. And then kind of bring them down just a little from that top peak. And just bring them to the side. Just like that, okay? That's all I'm going to lay out so we know where the sky is now and where the mountains are. No, there's going to be some trees in front of the mountain once we get going here. But we're going to mix everything with the brush, okay? We'll grab paint and mix it right here. Just get a little cup of water. That's all I'm using is water. So I'm wetting my brush right now in the water. And I want to start off with a gray sky, then I'll add some blue to it. So I'm going to grab a little white here, and I'll probably keep this down here at the bottom in the middle so I can mix my colors over here. Grab a little black, and let's gray it up a little bit. Just like that. And let's put some gray up in the sky here. Nice gray sky. And when you wet your brush a little, just dip it in the water just a little bit. It helps the paint flow on the canvas, okay? We're going to do a gray sky, and then I'll add the blue to it here and there. I might grab some right now, and we'll add a little blue in here across the middle. So now this blue right out of the tube, it's too bright. So don't even wipe your brush off. Just grab a little blue here. Put it down here. Now let's grab a little white here. And we're going to lighten it up a little bit. Okay? Just like that. Let's put that in underneath the gray. You can mix it up there a little bit in the gray. And we'll start coming down to the mountains. I'm trying to get you to where you can mix your own colors with just these three colors. You can get every single color out of those. So I'm wetting my brush again, grabbing some blue. Now I'm going to put a little bit of white on my brush and pick up some of that blue and bring it down to my mountain peaks here. So it's really light around the mountains, okay? A lighter color. You don't have to put the paint on heavy just yet. This is just, I'm going to put all the paint in very lightly right now to get some kind of underpaint going. Because I'm going to add clouds to the sky at the end, okay? Alright, so there's our sky. Looks pretty cool already. I'm going to go pretty quick. Now, for these mountains, let's just fill all this mountain area up with a dark gray, really dark. So I'm just going to grab some of my black here and put it back in the middle and darken this up. And wet your brush a little. And you don't have to put this on heavy just yet. Just let's just fill in our mountains here. Let's just do the top parts, all the peaks. Just line them up, line it with black up on the peaks there. Don't come down all the way yet, because I'm going to add a little white at the bottom. Let's just make some peaks here. You can actually go up into the blue if you want to make them taller, make them more pointier, see? I just did a simple design there for you to get started if you've never mixed your paint before. And I'm trying to go fast. I don't want this to be like a long video. It shouldn't be. We're going to be a really simple painting with distant mountains, trees, and what we'll do is we'll put bushes down here and run some evergreen trees down here. It'll look pretty cool. So I'm going to grab a little white now, and at the base of my mountain, I'm just going to add it in at the bottom of the mountain to change up the color down there, to lighten it up. And bring it down to that line where the horizon is. Just like that. Just to lighten up the bottom of the mountain, because I want to put some trees across the back there. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty much going to use this filbert brush to get the whole layout down here. Or I mean all the paint in. So right now what I'm going to do, the rest of this, I'm just going to make it like a bluish color. It's going to represent some water, but we're also going to have some land in here. But let's just put the water in. We'll put the whole bottom in with blue right now. So you don't even have to rinse the brush off. There's a little gray on there, but that's okay if gray gets in with the blue. Let's grab a little more blue here with your brush. Don't use a mixing knife. Grab a little more white and we'll lighten it up. Now when we do the water, I like to keep the brush going horizontal. So just wet your brush a little, and this is going to be water. So let's just get the rest of the color in with this bluish color. I'm probably going to come down about here, and then I'm going to lighten up the back before it dries, okay? Make sure you put some water on your brush so it flows better. When you're putting this amount of paint on, it's okay to wet your brush. Once we get all this paint in, then you don't have to wet your brush as much anymore. It's just when you're laying a lot of paint down at one time, it's good to wet it to get the paint to flow. I'm going to have to mix some more because I'm already running out. But I think I'm going to have some bushes down here. I'll just mix a little more. That's all. I'm going to make it a little darker since we're getting closer to our eye. As you when you go out and look at the water, it's always darker closer to the shore than it is way out in the distance. But I'm going to show you a quick trick right now once I get this down far enough. Because I'm going to have some land down here. We don't have to go down all the way. Just down to there is good. Now take your brush and grab some white, and right underneath the mountains, let's put some titanium white back there. Wet your brush a little, and let's lighten up all the water in the back there. Just take your brush and go across. Don't worry about hitting the mountains because we're going to put things up on there. Just lighten up this water in the back. I'd say down about 2 inches. Just like that. It's going to help that it look farther away when the painting's all done. Down here, we're going to put some land down here now. So we got to make some dark green. So now we're going to take a little blue over here, and we're going to add some yellow to it. So let's grab some yellow, and we're going to make some green. I think if you've never mixed your colors before, I think you should give this tutorial a try. I think you'd like it. Now that's a pretty good green, but I want it a little darker. So just grab a little black, and let's put some black in there. And now let's put in some bushes down here. So with my brush, I'm going to try and create some bush tops down here. Okay. Let the filbert brush make some round tops up there. Just like that. Now wet your brush just a little, and at the very bottom, pull some of this to the right at the bottom of the bushes. It's going to create a little bit of grass down there. Okay, just not too high up. Just like that, so it creates some land there. Let's grab some more of that dark green, and we'll make some more bushes over here. Maybe come up a little higher over here on this side, like this. And then bring it down a little. See how the brush is kind of making round tops up there? Same thing, let's pull the bottom. You got to wet your brush just a little and maybe grab a little bit of the paint, and let's pull at the bottom to the left under the bushes. Now this is a good trick I'm going to show you next. Rinse your brush off in your water, and then kind of dry it off on a rag I got a rag here that I just dried off on. Now grab a little bit of the white on a clean brush, just a little. And at the bottom of your bushes now, right at the bottom, pull some white color. At the bottom of the bushes and then blend it into that green. It's going to lighten up the grass and then you're going to be able to see the bushes a little better. Don't go up too high into the bushes, just at the bottom. See how it creates a little grass down there? Yeah, it looks good. I like that. Well, there we got all our underpaint done now. That's what I call it. That's what I call it. Now in Seattle, if you look across the Puget Sound, that's what this is. There's always some foothills across the back of this mountain. But what I want to do first is finish the mountains, and then we'll put these foothills in. We'll put a little reflection, then we'll put some trees, some clouds, and we're pretty much almost done. It's actually, there's quite a bit left, but look at that. After 16 minutes, we already got pretty much, we got some cool bushes and some cool water. I'll show you how to put some waves in here so it looks cool. But now we're going to do the snow up on these mountain peaks. If you look out in Seattle, those mountains pretty much at the peaks have snow on them year round. So the best way to do that, even if you're a beginner, I grab a knife like this, okay? It's not that hard. Uh, you're going to flatten out your paint like this, and then you're just going to get a little roll on the very end of it. You see that? Let me do this top peak first, okay? We're gonna say most of the sun is coming from the right, so uh, come up to the peak with your knife, and you can actually follow the top of the mountain peak, okay? We'll make it easy. Put your blade right on the right side, and then let it fall down, and then start pulling it to the right down here. Just put that much on right now first, and let's do the next peak the same way. Touch on the right side, let it come down just a little, then pull it to the right. And let some of the black show underneath there, okay? Don't press on it when you're doing this. And if you put less paint on it, you'll get more of that break in it, okay? So come up to the right side, and then we'll come down a little and pull it. This is an easy way to do putting color on the mountains, okay? You don't have to let it. You don't have to cover it all. Leave some of the black in there. So I'm going to swipe each mountain peak once first, just to get started. And now I'm going to add some more underneath. So just come underneath what you've already done, a little lower, maybe here. And let's put another row of snow there, okay? Real easy. If you've never done this, do it the way I'm doing it, and then you'll understand how mountains work, okay? Because it takes a little practice to know where to put the color, okay? This is just the easiest way to do it. Start at the top and then keep coming down, adding color. Uh, because sometimes the sun's right here in the middle, and then you'll get white on either side. You know, it'll be bright right in the middle. So, but this is a good way to do it. Now down here, I want to run some. Uh, right here, just run your knife across at the bottom of each mountain and create some hills, just like that. Okay, that's it. Now on this side, we want to put blue. So what we're going to do is take a little bit of this blue here, and we're going to mix a little white in it, just like that. And this is going to be our shady side of the mountain. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing, but on the other side. Everywhere you put white now, you're going to put a little bit of this blue, just to the left of it. Okay. Even down here where it's flat, fill your knife up, and even down here where the you ran down flat, you're going to put a little blue, and it's going to create a cliff down here. Okay. I'm going to go pretty fast now, but all you have to do is come up left of your snow and pull this blue color. That's all you got to do. And I'm going to go fast for the video. And there's a smaller part of the knife for these tight spots. Okay. And notice how I'm leaving some of these areas dark because maybe the sun's not quite getting in there. So you can either leave them dark or you can add a little more white in there, like this if you want. Either way. But there's the mountains. Isn't that easy? That's how they look here in, that looks just like how they look here in Washington. It's amazing. Now here's the next trick. Rinse your brush off. And it's a wet brush. Get a little bit of white on it. And down here at the bottom, we're going to just run some white down here at the bottom, at the lower part of the mountain. Just kind of, it's called a wash. Very light white. Okay. You can even do it up on the top to make the mountains look further back. You just glaze it with a little wet white brush. It's going to help the mountains look further back. And that's going to soak in too, so it won't. You'll see in a little bit, all that'll soak in a bit. But look at that. Doesn't that look cool? Let's run our trees across the back now. So what I'm going to do, instead of coming up into my mountain, I'm going to actually start the trees down here in the water. Okay? And have the tops come up to about here. So I'm going to use some of I want to use dark green again, so we got to mix some more green. I'm going to grab some blue here and a little bit more yellow. And we're going to mix some more green here. Let's wet the brush a little. See how it's turning green? This time, let's add a little bit of white to it. I want it to be, it'll be like a grayish green. Now let's add a little black to it, just to darken it up a bit. Alright, so how we're going to run our trees back here, you're just going to, you know how we did these bushes down here? Just take your brush and make them different heights back here. Just tap all the way across with this color. It's like a grayish green, okay? Go different heights. All the way across. Just like that. Now I want to bring it down straight across at the bottom. So wet your brush a little and let's just put a straight line underneath the bottom and then fill it in with that greenish gray color. Because if you look across the sound, that's going to be straight across just like that, okay? Look at that. We got some distant foothills back there, okay? And they're all different heights. That looks pretty cool. That's almost what I see every day when I look across the water. Now we want to run a white line across the bottom. If you're not used to the knife, you can use a brush. Get a small fan brush and let's just use a fan brush, okay, to make it easy. Wet your fan brush. If you have an acrylic fan brush, that'll help. Just wet your fan brush and then fill it up with some white, titanium white. And I'm going to go halfway this way and halfway that way. Right at the bottom of the trees, I'm just going to take my brush and go straight across. And then same thing across the other way. Right at the bottom of the water. Now what we want to do, I'm going to bring some of this water forward with my fan brush. Right in the middle, I'm going to put some small lines in the water here with my brush. Getting bigger as I come forward. Just like that. Make sure you go straight across, okay? Just like that for now, okay? I'll do something else here in a little bit, but I just wanted to get a little bit of color down right now, okay? That's gonna end up looking like waves. Now, you can grab your filbert brush now, and I gotta put my palette down because you want to dry it off now. Rinse it off and then dry it off with a paper towel. And go across these water lines very lightly, straight across, okay? Don't blend them all the way in, but just go across them with your brush. Very lightly. There we go. Wow, that's looking pretty good for a beginner It's beginner friendly. Now we're going to put some trees over here. I got to put a little more blue down because we got to mix some more green now. I'm going to make these evergreen trees over here. So I'm going to mix the blue. I'm going to grab some more blue here and some more yellow here and just make some more green. I want it dark again, so that's why I'm using the same spot here. Let's grab some black, mix it in there. Because when we highlight it, it'll change colors on us. It's still green, but it looks black. It probably looks black on the camera, but wet your brush a little bit. Now let's make some evergreen trees here that just go up into the water. Don't go up too high here. Just start on the right edge here. Take your fan brush and create like a trunk, and then turn your brush sideways, and then with the corner, start at the top, and then just come down and get wider. Come down slow and put your leaves on that tree, and then just get wider at the bottom. Just like that. Bring it all the way down to the bushes. And to load your brush up, just go across the paint like this, and then put another one here next to it, another trunk. Load your brush up and use the corner. Stay right on the trunk and stay small, and just get wider as you come down. You can make them skinny or fat, any size you want. And that look good. It looks better if they're dark, okay? I'm wetting my brush again to get more paint off the palette here. Let's put another one in. Use the corner. Stay right in the middle. Get wider. These are the easiest trees to make, so that's why I make a lot of them for the video, because they go quicker. Come down with your trunk, stay right on the middle at the top, small. Now you can see why I wasn't worried about filling that in, because I knew I was going to have trees here. Let me mix a little more here. I'm already running out of color. But hopefully you're getting something out of this. If you've never mixed your own colors before, I think it's something you should at least try once. Because I'm pretty much doing this whole painting with those three colors. I haven't used the red yet, but I'll use it here on something in a second. Maybe to highlight. Because you need red if you want to make brown. I haven't made any brown yet, so maybe I'll make some brown and put it down here. Let's see how far I am. 34 minutes. 34 minutes. Like, now keep in mind that this is, my paintings usually take an hour, but this is just a simple straight across mountain range with foothills straight across. There's no, depth to it. There's a little depth, but this painting shouldn't take you too long to do. But it's a fun one because this is what I see pretty much every day in Seattle. If I go down to the water, and I like that I mixed all the colors so far. Make this one skinny. I think the more trees you put in, the better. I'm trying to go fast. 'Cause I mean, once you make one tree, once you know how to make these trees like this, uh, there's other styles you'll want to learn how to make. So, but this is a good one to start off with. This, my friend Lisa, this is like her favorite tree. I like them too because they end up looking pretty good for the painting. And then when you highlight them, they even look better. We'll put some bushes down here. Look at that. It's a pretty good scene. That's a scene here in Washington for sure. The Puget Sound. Uh, I don't put many sailboats in my scenes because, believe it or not, if people don't want a picture of someone else's sailboat, so I don't put a sailboat out there because the paintings they don't sell as much. So let's do some clouds now. Now we don't have any. We're gonna have to create some depth by maybe putting a cloud in the corner here and then coming down this way so it looks like we got some depth in there. So let's I'm just gonna use my big maybe I'll switch to a smaller brush. Now we could use the big number 12 filbert. I'm gonna put a cloud up in the right corner with white, and I'm going to pretty much fill in the top right corner here with the cloud. Just going to stamp it in like this with my brush, and then at the bottom I'm going to pull it to the right. Get some more white. I'm going to put one down here in the middle. Just stamp it in like this and then pull the bottom to the right. And then I'm going to get some more white, and let's put a small one down here. Just stamp it in, pull the bottom to the right. And let's put a small one down in here. Now, dry your brush off real quick with a paper towel, and I'm going to come up here and kind of blend this one up here. Stamp in the top and blend this top one in because it's a big cloud. Lightly blend it. And then on these, just lightly blend the bottom part of them. Let's see how that looks. Let me step back. That looks pretty good. I think I want to put a cloud right over here though, over this one. So I'm going to grab a little more white and create like another cloud right over that one. Maybe coming down on that one and just pull it to the right. Let's see how that looks. Pretty good, pretty good. You can see how it kind of went over that one and over this one. It's not the best layout, but I think if I make it a little bigger, it'll look okay. So I'm going to put another one underneath it. Pull it to the right. Lightly blend it. Looks pretty good. So what I think I need now is another one right in here, behind this one and over that one. So just barely get you don't have to wet your brush as much anymore because we've got all our paint down. So I'm going to try and sneak another one in here, see what happens. Trying to layer the clouds. All right, it's getting better. That's all you have to do when you make your clouds with acrylic. I'll use a big filbert brush to get the top in like this and then just pull it one way or the other at the bottom. It's there's a lot of different ways I do clouds, but this is a good way for beginners, I think. Uh, and you can put them anywhere you want. Okay. And I'm not gonna. I usually, well, you can darken the bottoms of these clouds, but it looks like it already kind of blended into the bottom, and it made the bottom of the clouds already a little dark. So I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. Later on, you could come back when the paint's done soaking in. You could come back and brighten up the top of your clouds like this, okay? If you want to make the tops a little brighter. Just add a little more color to it, okay? because it will soak in. You can see how this is soaking in already. That's why you don't need to use as much. You can. This one really soaked in, so you can re-hit the top of your clouds. But give it about 10 minutes and wait till it soaks in so you can see where you need it. Okay. All right, I kind of like that. That's a good scene. Because if you brighten up the top of your clouds, the bottom part will already automatically get a little darker, and you won't have to highlight the bottom, okay, with a darker color. This one I like here. Here's a good trick. You see how this cloud's coming down like this? Grab a little white now, and you can create different layers in here by doing this with white. Okay, you can create multiple clouds on top of each other there. See that? It's a good trick. Okay, you can bring it back all the way here. Then it creates more layers in there. It looks pretty cool. All right, well, you can mess with your clouds. These down here, if you leave them like the way they are, it'll help them look further back, okay? Like those are way back in the distance. All right, guys. I think I'm going to highlight these trees for you, and then that's about it. Where am I at? At 47 minutes. This was a pretty easy one for a beginner. So what I'm going to do down here, I'm not going to make any brown. I'm going to show you a cool trick how to brighten up your grass. Just take your filbert brush. It's an acrylic filbert brush. Rinse it off in the water. And put a little bit of this yellow over here. And see how it's kind of running like water. And get a little bit of yellow like water. And come down here and just lightly go across the grass down there. Very lightly. It's called glazing it with the yellow. See how it made the grass a little greener? That's all you got to do. It'll soak in and turn your grass green. See? Isn't that cool? I'm going to highlight these trees. I'm going to show you how I do it sometimes. So I'm going to take a little bit of this dark green that I made it with and add a little white to it so it gets a little lighter. And you don't need much. Just fill up your fan brush with that. It's a greenish gray now. We're going to come down. You're going to pick out the top parts of your branches and stay on the right side of these trees. Bring it all the way down. You got to take your time when you do this and make sure you're just barely tapping it and hitting the top parts of the branches, okay? Don't fill it in too much. Just enough to get a little highlight on the top parts of the branches there. See how I'm leaving the dark at the bottom? Just take your time. Use the corner of the brush and come down the right side. It's going to make the tree have some dimension. I also call it like putting a dress on. We're going to put a dress on these trees. See that? See the difference? The light's hitting over here from the right. And you kind of want to use the same color of what the tree started off with. I'm using the same dark color I just added a little white to it to gray it up a bit. Because if you put a really bright color on there, it's not going to look right. Okay. I'm trying to make these look as much like nature as I can. That's all you got to do is highlight one side. Now the bushes, we can use that same color. Just fill up your fan brush again. The bushes are a little trickier, so what we're going to do is start here and go this way, and I'm going to create some bushes down here. Watch how I do it. I'm barely tapping it. I'm going up and down. I'm going up and down. Up, down, up and down, up, down, up, down, leaving some dark in there, okay? That's how you create some bush tops. Same thing this way. Just go, make sure you come down a little. Go up, down, up, down. It's a good way to practice, because when you first start out, you won't see the bushes in there until you add some color to it. But now you can pick out the bushes that I made, and you can do them any way you want, but you got to be able to see the bushes in there, so you got to add some light color to it, okay? So I just made a couple behind those. This takes a little practice, but I think you can do it. Now, these trees back here. I can almost see some highlights in here. You see them? You can use the same color and create some highlights back here on these trees if you want. Okay, very lightly. Just like that. Just so it looks like it has some dimension back there. That's about all I'm going to do. Uh, I'll show you one thing that how I finish it off. I use a liner brush and I put twigs out here. And you can just use, wet your brush quite a bit and make the black run like ink. And then you can put some twigs out here, okay? In between your trees. I'm not going to do it on the video. I'm just showing you what I do. I usually do this after I shut the video off, but you can put some twigs out here, okay? But what I do like to do is pop a few birds in here before I'm done. Look at that. They're coming in. They're coming in for the fish. All right, guys. I think that's enough to get you started. I'll finish this up and put it on the community post. So for me, I like to use a knife back here, see? And it puts a little sparkle in the water. See that sparkle it puts on the water? But I just used a brush if you're a beginner. If you think you can do this with a knife, just take your knife. Make sure you just put it straight. Keep it horizontal. it adds a little sparkle to the water, okay? Especially across the back there. But overall, that's pretty good. I like it. It's kind of grayish, but that's what it looks like in Seattle right there. So I don't know what to tell you. Uh, Give that one a try. Mix your own colors. This is an easy painting. The mountains are pretty much straight across. Lots of water. You can make more waves and put more twigs. But the best part of this was probably making these bushes. It's really good practice to see how I do these bushes, because it is one of the hardest things to learn, and how to highlight distant trees like that. So you don't want to overdo it with color, because then it doesn't look natural. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that one, and I got a show today, so I got to get ready for that. And we'll see you on the next video. Let me see if anybody's chatting. Peggy's on. Where the water really liking how you're making them nowadays. Right on. Thanks. Yeah, this is I like this style too. I used to do them mostly like this, but now I like to have depth in there. But this is about what it looks like here in Seattle. A lot of the times when you look across the Puget Sound over to Bainbridge Island, like Seattle is on this side here, the city would be over there. And we got, maybe one day I'll put a ferry in there, because we got a lot of ferries that go across. Alright, Peggy, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Get your brushes out. Alright, cheers.